Hey everybody, this is EternallyPrussian's Warframe here today again for the Know Your Allies series. I have decided I am going to do a reboot of the entire series. It's just I've missed so much. It's been probably 4 or 5 updates since I last released any of my old Know Your Allies like Excalibur and Loki, and I'm really tired of just running through a mission, hopefully showing off every ability, and just gabbering on forever. So I'm going to save everybody the time and the trouble, and as I said in my last video, I'm going to be quick, clean, and to the point. This is Loki. He is the trickster class, very accurately described. He's named after the Norse god Loki, the same name, and Loki is very well known for his tricks. So it says he may be desired by advanced players, but we'll get there at another point. Advanced player doesn't always mean you have to be perfectly equipped with Warframe in order to use it. So we're just going to dive right in, and at first I want to show off the move, his first one, Decoy. Decoy is an incredibly helpful and just all-around useful move that if you need to have the fire drawn away from you, you just smack it down right in front of you or at a good distance where all the enemies are trying to shoot you, and they'll focus all of their attention as you saw in the video. They won't go for you, but they will go for whoever's nearest. So back off some distance from the decoy, and the decoy will start taking all the hits. Beware that those are level 1s. So you saw all those hits being taken. That doesn't work so well in the much later levels. So just be aware of that. Up next, I want to check out Invisibility. Invisibility is by far my most used ability from Loki. You go completely invisible, and as you saw, except for the first one because I started that charge before I went invisible or something, it has a 100% crit chance. Every attack you do will be a critical, so on my dual cleavers I made sure that I put on maximum damage. I wanted my crit damage to be absolutely maxed out so that way when I did land those criticals, they would hurt badly. Since dual cleavers have an incredibly high crit rate to begin with, and they're just... I'm going on about nothing again. Let's get back on point. I'm sorry. Things have been a bit sketchy lately. Regardless, you want to take advantage of weapons that have incredibly high crit rates in order to make sure that invisibility gets maxed out in its potential. Up next, I'm going to check out Switch Teleport. Switch Teleport is a move I use just absolutely least for the Loki. I don't find a whole lot of uses for Switch Teleport. You used to be able to do it with your allies, and oh god, you could troll them so badly if you did that. Now you just use it as a swap with Decoy, which I actually think I'm going to show that right now. That's a really cool switch, so we'll see what that looks like. Back on the subject of Switch Teleport, it's just not something you really get a whole ton of use out of. Sure, you can swap places with a heavy unit towards, say, a Nyx who's using Absorb, but that's more of a Teamster move than it is something you'd want to tackle solo. The last thing we're going to look at is Loki's finisher of sorts, is Radial Disarm. Radial Disarm completely deprives all your enemies of melee weapons, and only 2 melee weapons, I'm sorry, unless they had melee weapons to begin with, which it wouldn't do anything. But it can really even out the odds as the MOAs, if you face the Corpus, start literally kung fu kicking you, and all the Grenadier take out their shiny glow sticks and start hitting you, even the heavy units. Beware that the heavy units do still have their ground slam, but they're going to be using glow sticks rather than miniguns, so I think that's a much easier way to make sure you can find your way out of situations. Also, I should mention that you can use Radial Disarm followed by Invisibility, and once they hug in close, you can just wreck them. Here's an example. Damn cool, right? You can do that with pretty much all of Loki's abilities. You can interchange them, use them after one another. It's just so much variety available with Loki, but again, the problem is that he's very light, so just be aware that although you may see that he has the same armor rating as Excalibur, he goes down very, very quickly. Make no mistake on that. So, what weapons would I recommend with Loki? Well, as you can see by my loadout here, I went for a sniper loadout. Yes, my Loki is default look. But I went for a sniper loadout. I really think that Loki is suited to either be one of these really quickly up close in your face and then scatter kind of types, or a sniper. And this sniper loadout has been working extremely well for Loki. It keeps him out of the fray, and if enemies close in too much, I drop invisibility. If the distance starts becoming a problem, I can switch teleport or I can decoy to focus the enemies in one area. And if all hell breaks loose, I just grab a Radial Disarm and just bolt. Or I do whatever it is I can. Invisibility is a great runaway tactic too. So if you're somebody who likes to manipulate the battlefield with a lot of energy under your belt, and you don't mind not being the front man and taking all the hits or being in all the glory of there's bullets everywhere, I think you'll like Loki. He's a great class, and you don't have to be a Warframe expert to pick the Trickster. So, with that said, that is it from Eternally Prussian's Warframe. Next time we will be reviewing the third in the starter series, and that is Mag.